Since 2021, Lane & Associates Family Dentistry is excited to continue what we've been doing for over 40 years.
It's our mission to provide a safe and caring environment for all of your dental needs.
With multiple locations across North Carolina, we look forward to seeing you in one of our offices soon.
At Lane & Associates Family Dentistry, we love to make you
smile. 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 Smile.
We love to make you smile. At Lane & Associates Family Dentistry, we consider ourselves privileged to be mission partners with the Kay Yow Foundation to help fight and defeat women's cancer. We have many patients and many staff members who've had to battle this horrible disease with their families, with themselves, and we consider it an honor to be able to help support all these people.
We are so appreciative of all of our sponsors for the celebration run walk this week. We are back for night 4. I'm Jen Hoverstad, Director of Marketing and Engagement for the Kay Yow Cancer Fund, and I am joined by Stephanie Glantz, our CEO. And tonight, I think I'm going to be calling you Coach Glantz because that
works.
Right?
Yeah, that works.
That's who we're talking to tonight.
Yeah, it was Coach Glantz for about 30 years, so that works. Yeah, it's exciting, Jen. We're going to hear from some of Coach Yow's former players, and we're going to hear from Ace Konig, who's a recent graduate from NC State, played on the Wolfpack women's team and played in lots of Play for K games, and is going to share her experience in the Play for K games. And so it's exciting. We've got a great lineup, and just, wow, we're coming down to the end. I mean, it's been a great week, Jen.
Absolutely. And we have so many of our friends joining us again. Make sure we can see your comments. So whether you're joining us on Facebook or on YouTube, we would love a shout out to see that you're here. Mary Gravley, of course, is in the audience. We might be seeing someone she knows here shortly.
I think so.
She's saying hello. We have Ivy Gardner, who is here, excited to see her Wolfpack sisters tonight. Thank you all so much. Keep the comments coming. We want to see who's here. But as we've been doing every night this week, we are starting off with a mission moment. And tonight is a pretty special one. We've been talking about the mission of the Kay Yow Cancer Fund, but tonight we get to hear the story about where it all started. Steph, tee this up for us.
Perfect. So Sherry Cole, who is the head women's basketball coach at the University of Oklahoma, is going to share tonight's mission moment. And the greatest thing about this is Coach Yow spoke with Sherry before she passed away, and she shared with Sherry her vision for the Kay Yow Cancer Fund, the impact that she really believed the Kay Yow Cancer Fund could make. And she shared that on a napkin in a deli in Augusta, Georgia. And so Sherry is with us tonight to explain that story and also share in a very unique way Kay Yow's vision for the Kay Yow Cancer Fund. Sherry?
So it's July, and the world of women's basketball has descended upon Augusta, Georgia, where everybody was going to recruit the next great player, and all the great players were going to secure the next great scholarship. And in between the morning and afternoon session, Coach Kay Yow approached me and asked me if I would join her for lunch. She had an idea she'd like to run past me. I was then the president of the Women's Basketball Coaches Association, and she was an icon in our sport. She wanted to have lunch to talk about a dream that she had. And so we ventured out to this little place in a driving rainstorm to have lunch in a corner booth. And Kay Yow sat down and she said, I want to talk to you about developing a cancer fund. She was in her 3rd bout with this crazy disease, and we sat down at a table, and she pulled a pen out of her purse and got a paper napkin from a stack on the table and said, I want you to think about this, Sherry. If every Division I women's basketball program in the country raised $1,000, look what we could do for cancer research. And she did the math on the napkin. And then she said, and how about every Division II school and every Division III school and every junior college? What if they raised $500? Look what we could do. And she started to do the math on the napkin. And then she said, think about every high school in America, Coach. How many high schools are there just in the state of North Carolina? And then extrapolate that to every state in the union. What if they raised $100? How much money could we raise for cancer research? And she went back to the napkin. And then she said, And what if every little girl in the United States of America who plays basketball gave $1? What could we do? And the numbers continued on the napkin. As they brought out her food, I had a plate of nachos and she had a bowl of soup, separated only by the enormous chemotherapy pills that lined the table. She paused to swallow one and then went matter-of-factly right back to her napkin. Said, "Coach, look what we can do." And it was there in Augusta, Georgia, that a nonprofit organization, the WBCA, birthed another nonprofit organization, the Kay Yow Cancer Fund. I was drenched in the juju of Kay Yow. I have been honored ever since to be a part of this organization that bears her name and makes such a tangible difference in the fight against women's cancers. The Kay Yow Cancer Fund raises money for scientific research. It provides access to quality health care for the underserved, and it unites people in the fight. Coach Kay Yow laid out a game plan. In 13 years, the Kay Yow Cancer Fund has raised over $7.78 million for the fight against all women's cancers. If Coach Yow were with us today, I think she'd be clapping. I think she'd applaud and pull us all together for a team huddle. And I think there she would say, "I'm so proud of your progress. I'm so grateful for the difference that you're making." But then I think she'd compel us to do more. She would say, "You can do more. Cancer can't wait." And she would draw us to reach our capacity, which is even greater than we have ever imagined, especially together. Thank you for being on our team.
Wow.
So, Jeff,
Yes.
welcome. Thank you. Incredible story from Sherry Cole.
I mean, how many great plays have been drawn up on a napkin too? But that's a great plan that was drawn up on a napkin.
And so appropriate, right? For a
It
coach to
is.
draw up that plan for a cancer fund that is going to be national and the vision for that. So let me introduce our audience to Jeff Gravley. Jeff Gravley is a great friend of the Kay Yow Cancer Fund. Jeff has a background in broadcasting, 34 years. He is a 7-time Emmy-winning broadcaster. He is a celebrity in the Raleigh area and the state of North Carolina. You are, Jeff. You totally are. Mary, his wife, is a cancer warrior and has been on our Celebration Run Walk committee every year we've had it. Jeff and Mary have both served on our leadership council here locally. Megan, their daughter, was a Kay Yow camper. Yes, I know. I was a Kay Yow camper too, Jeff. So it's a big deal to be a Kay Yow camper.
It is.
Basically, you covered NC State women's basketball for years. We're getting ready to host a number of former NC State players. And so your family has dedicated a lot of time to NC State. You're a graduate, to Kay Yow, the person, and to the Kay Yow Cancer Fund. We appreciate that greatly, Jeff. And so with that, I'll turn it over to you.
Thanks so much, Steph. You know, it is a great pleasure to be with you guys. Normally, we're on a Saturday morning and we're getting everybody ready around Reynolds Coliseum to go on the run walk. I get a chance to see so many familiar faces, but we're doing this virtually this year. And by golly, it works just as well. We're still raising money for cancer research. And as you mentioned, my wife is a cancer warrior. We had seen the Play for Kay game as spectators, and then one day my wife became a participant at halftime as one of the survivors. And you mentioned my daughter Megan at Kay Yow's camp. How about that, everybody? Huh? Can you see? There it is. Now here's the deal, Steph. There's the picture of Megan at Kay Yow's camp. You need to run out and find your picture at Kay Yow's camp. Now, that would be a sight to see. We would love to do that. You've got a little time here to do that, so maybe you could do that. It is a great pleasure tonight to welcome 5 NC State great basketball players. We're going to talk to one right off the bat who just finished her career at NC State last season. She is now in Switzerland. By golly, Ace Konig, what time is it in Switzerland?
It is 2:10 a.m. over here.
Well, I don't know if we woke you up or you just stayed up, but thanks for being with us. Now, listen, folks, if you like three-point shooters, this is one of the best to ever put on an NC State uniform. holds the single season record for three-pointers. No one took more three-pointers than Ace Konig. Only one more person made more three-pointers in her career. And what a senior year it was for Ace. All ACC, the ACC tournament most valuable player, and the crowning jewel in ACC championship. Ace, the last time I saw you face-to-face, we were having a conversation, was in Greensboro. The confetti was falling. You had your championship hat on. It's been almost a year now. How is it different now for you as an ACC champion as it was that day in Greensboro?
That's crazy to think that it's already been a year because it really doesn't feel like it, but at the same time, sort of does. It's really like that weird kind of feeling. I'm just really excited to watch this amazing Wolfpack team do a repeat because, it's awesome to think back what we did, but they're so talented as a group right now that watching it is like gives me so much joy. So as far as being an ACC champion, yes, I'm very proud of that, but I think I'm even more proud of what's happening on the court after I've left.
Well, you would be proud today because NC State on senior day beat Pittsburgh by 30. And as a team, they knocked in 16 three-pointers. That's impressive, right?
That's amazing. I think the most that we ever did as a team while I was there was 14. So
And you
I think
probably made 13 of them. Maybe.
I'll say that, but maybe 10.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean, I think that was against Virginia. We've had that really great shooting game. But no, that's amazing. I unfortunately didn't get to watch because I was playing my own game. But I'm gonna give Kaya and KJ a call and congratulate them on an amazing senior season and career so far.
So you are playing professionally in Switzerland. How is that going for you?
I am super blessed to be able to continue to play a game as a career and to travel the world doing it. So I am in Freiburg, Switzerland, which is about 20 minutes outside of Bern. And I am playing with some of the most talented Swiss players and a very talented coaching staff and group. And I get to play with some pretty cool foreigners. Some of them I have known for a long time and have been rivals with for a long time, Taylor Coonan from UNC. But so far it's been a joy to play and continue to, work on my game.
Now, Ace, you never got to play for Coach Kay Yow, but you got to play in the NC State program. How does her impact still have an effect on Wolfpack players of today?
I mean, you walk onto the court and her name is right there. It's one of the first things you see. And, though I and the girls who are currently playing never had a chance to play for Coach Yow, Coach Moore has had an opportunity to work with her. And, he tries to embody her vision of NC State as much as possible. And that's something that in our locker room, in our meetings, that is talked about a lot. And so her legacy for sure lives on in the gym, no matter where you go, whether it's walking through the gym, playing on the court, or even being surrounded by people whose lives she has touched personally. That is something that, we get to experience even though we didn't have the pleasure of knowing her.
You did get a chance to play in the Play for K game. Now, we just had that this past Sunday. A limited number of fans were in there. It was a totally different experience. As a player, what was it like to play in that game? And did you ever feel any pressure to win that game?
Oh, there's absolutely pressure to win that game. It's such an amazing atmosphere. And as a player, that was one of the games you look forward to all season long, because it's one of those moments where you find yourself making a larger impact than just playing basketball, and this game means more in life than it does in what's just happening on the floor. So no matter how many shots you hit, no matter how well you play, as long as you give it everything and hopefully come out on top, it's something that you're really proud of. I have lost family members to cancer, and being surrounded by people who have fought so hard to be there, but also have so much joy and love and happiness to share with you in those moments, I think is something that's really special.
That's exactly what makes it so special. And just the last thing we'll talk about here is you made a special delivery to the women's team on Sunday. You sent them cupcakes, and I'm not going to say what it spelled out, but it said GTH Carolina. You guys can figure it out. Good plan, Ace. And they won as well over North Carolina.
You know, I had a feeling, I had a lot of faith in those girls. So I decided to get a little bit ahead of it and celebrate early.
Well, great job, Ace. Continued success in Switzerland. And thanks for staying up with us tonight on a special night. And you're a special player at NC State, and we appreciate all that you've done for this program and will continue to do in your professional career. Thank you, Ace.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.
We will continue our program, but first, let's take a break to hear a word from our presenting sponsor of the Run Walk, UNC Health.
You hear that sound? That's all of us cheering and laughing. Everywhere, louder than ever. It's not the past. It's our future. Because we have vaccines. Tested, safe, and effective. Everyone. Our shot at a better future is here. Get loud, North Carolina. This is our shot.
We will continue our celebration tonight with 4 of the best players to ever play at NC State women's basketball. We just talked with Ace Konig, one of the best shooters of all time. We have 4 incredible players that we will continue to talk with tonight. I first want to talk with or have an introduction first. You see them on the screen, but what you may not know is a little bit of background about the group. 3 NC State Athletics Hall of Famers, 3 retired jerseys, 3 All-Americans, 4 All-Conference players, 2 that played in the Final Four, 2 that were a part of NC State's first ACC tournament championship. The all-time leading scorers, number 1, number 4, number 5, and number 10. And the all-time leading rebounders, number 1, number 3, number 4, and number 14. So now I'm going to start to put the numbers with the player. So we'll start to do that now. Welcome in Gina Beasley, who played 1977 to 1980, number 1 career scorer, number 1 career rebounder, number 1 in block shots, number 1 with 60 double-doubles. Gina, wave for us if you would. Good to see you again.
Yeah.
Her teammate for 3 years, Trudi Lacey, 1978 to 1981, 5th in career scoring, 3rd in career rebounding, 6th in steals. She had 40 double-doubles. Trudi, always great to see you as well.
Good to see you.
Chasity Melvin, 1995 to 1998, 4th in scoring, 4th all-time in rebounding, 39 double-doubles, just 1 shy of Trudi. Just 1 more and you could have tied her. Trudi was like, don't do it, Chaz. Don't do it. Chaz, it's always great to see you. One of her teammates for a season was Tanisha Lewis, 10th in scoring, 14th in rebounding all-time at NC State, and the only player to ever record a triple-double in NC State women's history, and she did it twice. Tanisha, welcome to the show tonight. It's great to have you, ladies. All right, so Trudi and Gina played together for 3 years. You were on the very first ACC championship team. Chasity was a senior, and Tanisha, you were a freshman when you played on NC State's first Final Four team. We're going to talk a little bit about basketball. We're going to talk a lot about the impact that Coach Kay Yow had on the 4 of you. So my first question for each of you, you were all recruited to come to play at NC State to play for Coach Yow. How did she convince you that this was the place that you wanted to come and she was the coach that you wanted to come play for? We're going to start with Gina. Since you were the first on campus, we're going to go in order of who arrived on campus first. Gina?
You're just hoping we all have the memory to go back that far. Right?
Give it a try.
Hey, it's 40 years since I finished. Can you believe that? 40 years. I know I look like I'm 25 still, but you know.
Absolutely. You can still score.
When I went to, I had the opportunity to go to the game. There was a game in Elon when Coach Yow was still at Elon. They played the Russian national team in Elon. And I was still in high school, and we found out about that game. And I said, I need to go see what that's all about, because that sounds like a lot of fun playing people from all over the world. And Coach Yow was the coach of the team. I think it was mostly Elon players. I don't even think it was like a group of the best players at wherever. So I got to meet her at that game because I wanted to know what she was all about to make that happen in rural North Carolina. How are we getting Russians were undefeated at that time. They had never lost a game internationally.
Wow.
And I think I was a sophomore. We were state champs in North Carolina that year. And I got to meet her at the high school state championship tournament also, because at that point, coaches could talk to the players. There wasn't the rules like they are now. And I also got to meet her as a teacher because she coached or she was one of the counselors talking about camps at Campbell College. Back in that day, the coaches from all the schools were the counselors. There wasn't really there wasn't that many players that were counselors. So I got to watch her style and see how she, just her mannerisms on how, she was. Norlin Finch was there also. And Jennifer Alley was the other coach. She was eventually at Chapel Hill, but she was at High Point College at that time. So I really liked the way she coached too. I liked her personality. So, there wasn't a whole lot. My mailbox wasn't full of letters like it is now, or emails or whatever it is when kids get recruited. It was, I knew I was going to stay probably in the state because we just didn't go out of state at that time. Trudi, I think, Trudi and Ginger were our first out of state recruits, believe it or not. And they were way far away in Virginia. So that was kind of interesting that, it was mostly all local North Carolina girls pretty much at that point in time.
So Trudi, how in the world did Coach Yow convince you to come south from Virginia to join the NC State program?
Well, I'll tell you what, in the grits, because I never had grits until I moved to North Carolina. But I met Coach Yow when I was 12 years old. I was at my first basketball camp. She came to speak at the camp, and what she talked about really struck me as important. Normally, coaches talk about shooting and defense. Well, Coach Yow talked about assists, and to become a great player, you have to be willing to give up the ball and share with your teammates in order to be successful. And that just really resonated with me. And so throughout the recruiting process, I remember that story and the impact that Coach Yow's words had on me. And so I ended up at NC State.
Wow. And it wasn't the grits. Chasity, what about you? What lured you to NC State?
Well, it was just anybody but Carolina. Actually, I was just going to stay in state. I was going to stay at home, and actually came down between Coach Hatchell and Coach Yow. I went down to the wire. But really, Coach Yow and I really talked about, we shared the same faith. And I just felt like she could understand me a little bit more, being a preacher's kid and playing sports. And so I knew she could understand my personality as well as my, use my athletic talent to the best of my ability. So that was pretty much the deal breaker. I believe I made the best choice.
You did. Tanisha, what was convincing about Coach Yow to get you in the program?
I'm about like Chasity. I was, my whole family was Carolina fans. And so I had basically made up my mind I was going to Chapel Hill, and then Coach Yow just wrecked that in 15 seconds from meeting her. And, I don't know what Chasity, Coach Yow must stop telling that story about passing, because Chasity sure missed that lesson. Like, yeah. You throw it down there, you weren't getting back. But it was just her faith, and it was bigger than basketball. And that's always, that's how my parents raised me. That's what we believe. That's what we live. And that's what clinched it for me.
Going to ask one simple question here. Coach Yow was a very calm person. I think she only had one technical foul in her career. But I'm sure as players, you saw her get mad a couple of times. Let's circle back around with you gals. And Tanisha, I'll start with you. What's the maddest you ever saw Coach Yow?
I mean, it was probably my fault, somebody did it. I was just a different type of person in college, and it had to be Coach Yow to be patient. Like I can't say I really seen her mad, man. She just gave you that look where you just felt like you let down your mama, just told your whole spirit up. So, I don't really have a mad story. I have several occasions where she should have been mad with me, but she just had a way to. She was emotional intelligence was through the roof. Emotional IQ, being able to handle tough situations. But she just so fiery, but it was passionate, but it was always poised. And so I don't have the good mad story.
That's fine. You don't have to make one up.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't have one.
Chasity, do you have one you can add, maybe?
I don't know that I ever really saw her mad. I wouldn't use mad as the word, but she was very passionate. She was always very passionate about one more time. When practice was supposed to be over, it was about an hour ago.
5 minutes ago.
Yeah, 5 more minutes. And I would see her give Robin Pate was one of the assistant coaches at the time, and he was supposed to keep her in check with the time. And when we were supposed to be off the court, and I would see her give him mean eyes. Like really give it to him like I know what time it is. But I just remember one game we played really poorly, and the next day we came back to practice, and she came in the huddle and she was just really passionate, and she was like, "You gotta want it." And that was kind of she kept repeating herself, and that was kind of like our slogan the rest of the season, and we turned the season around after that. So just the way she said it was so much passion, and I guess there was a little anger in that because we really weren't playing well up until that point.
Trudi, did you ever see Coach Yow mad?
I don't ever remember seeing her mad. I mean, as Chas said, she was very passionate, very detailed. But the interesting thing to me about Coach Yow is she had that unique ability to be competitive, but everybody liked her, even Gino. So I mean, that's right there. That's a unique skill right there. That's to be able to compete, but everybody still loved you.
Mm-hmm.
Gina, did you ever see Coach mad?
Well, she would give you that look, like, "What were you thinking?" But in a nice way. Like 20-year-olds don't ever make any poor decisions, right? We can all attest to that. So her demeanor was always, why are you doing that? Why don't you do this instead? She didn't waste time on anger. Anger takes a lot of energy, and she was way ahead of her game on that because she didn't waste energy on anger. She put her energy into love and passion and empowering other people to do their best. And, that's where she kept her focus was that. And even with the Cancer Fund, it wasn't about her being sick and not feeling well. It was about how could she, even the team, the last team, the last couple of years when she really didn't have much energy. It was all about putting herself in that position to help the team do their best. So I don't remember anger ever being part of. I mean, there were certain times I didn't want to be face to face with her because I'd done something stupid and I knew I was going to get a talking to. But it was always like, "Well, Gina, what were you thinking?" I mean, and that's kind of the tone she's talking to you. And it's like, it feels like she's yelling at you, but she really didn't have to yell because you didn't want to disappoint her.
So what did all of you take from her multiple battles with cancer? Now, Gina, you're an optometrist. Trudi, you're an AD at Johnson & Wales University in Charlotte. Chasity, you're an assistant coach with the Phoenix Mercury in the WNBA. And Tanisha, you're a head coach at Elizabeth City State. What did you take from her and her battle with cancer that applies to what you do today? Let's start with you, Gina.
Well, I see a lot of kids with learning difficulties and help them get through some pretty tough challenges. And I have pictures of her in almost every room in my office. So everybody knows I went to state, you know, even the UNC people that bring their little UNC little sweatshirts in. I go, what are you doing? What are you wearing that for? I mean, that's, you know, is that all you must be at the bottom of your dirty clothes list if that's all you got to wear today. You know, so they know I'm very passionate about state in general, and, you know, very proud that I was able to go to school there and get a good education. And I think the biggest thing is everybody's got adversities. Everybody's got stuff that doesn't work right, or everybody's got things that they're not great at yet. And you got two choices. You can either quit and fail, or you can keep trying and keep pushing and keep going. And, you know, she always taught us that our attitude was our altitude, you know, had to do with how high you were going to go. And I didn't really understand that at the time, but I really get it now. And I try to empower all the kids I see that they're in the driver's seat. They can get pretty much where they want to go as long as their attitude is in the right place. So I talk a lot about attitude when we're working with kids that have pretty severe problems.
Yeah. Trudi, what about you? What do you take with you in your job now that there's a little Kay Yow in it?
Yeah, matter of fact, there's a lot of Kay Yow in it, but you know, I think two things in particular that I take with me every day. You know, one of the last things she challenged us with, she made the video at her funeral, was to become a better version of yourself. And I took that to heart, to really work on myself every day and try to become the best that I can become. And, you know, one of the other things that she said was that, you know, the bigger the problem, the bigger the opportunity. And she never shied away from any kind of problems, any kind of challenge. But she also was always willing to give to others, even when she was having difficulties herself. And so those are the two things that I try to implement in my life every day.
Chasity?
I was fortunate and unfortunate enough to sneak in the hospital the night before Coach Yow passed away, and to see her and to see life being taken away from her like that. She was always my superhero. So from just learning from her fight, like, just really enjoy the moments and enjoy the journey you have, because it can be taken so quickly, you know, before you know it. So that's what I take from it.
Tanisha, what about you?
So much. One of the things I remember most is like a servant leadership. She would be the first to take your bags off the conveyor belt at the airport, and she's the head coach. And so what it teaches me what it taught me is that, you know, we are always in a place to serve. Like, you know, I do water bottles, I'll mop the floor, I'll do whatever is necessary to teach that, you know, it's not about the position, it's about your character. And also that adversity doesn't she had a quote, adversity doesn't build character, it reveals it. And so no matter how difficult times, you want to find out who you really are, who are you in tough times. So, and she was just the same patient, poised, positive person that she has always been. And so that constantly flows in my mind all the time when situations where I can lose my cool. I'm like, I have to be poised in this situation.
And even today, even though she's gone, she still has an impact on all of your lives. And that's the amazing thing. And this is somebody that would do everything, because when she started, I mean, I think she was driving station wagons to make sure Gina and Trudi and you girls got to the games and all these things. Is that really true? Did she drive a station wagon to make sure y'all got to games?
The state vans, the 16 passenger vans.
Yeah, I was gonna say we spent a lot of time in vans.
And she only left one person one time.
Really? Was it you?
No, it wasn't me.
Wow.
It was at that point in time, Melanie Oakley, who was a sweet mate of mine, and because we lived in Carroll dorm, and I mean we lived in regular dorms. We had no athletic dorms at that point in time. Well, we were going up to Appalachian State, and we had two vans. So Norland was driving one, and Coach Yow was driving the other. They drove the vans. Well, Melanie Oakley was our manager. She was in charge of paying the gas. She had the money, like for meals and stuff. So she went in to pay for the gas, and we took off. And we're getting down the road, and there was no cell phones then. So somebody put a piece of paper up to the door. Is Melanie on your van? So she was on our van to start with. We wonder if she got on the other one. And they're going. So whoever was sitting in the front seat goes, Coach Al, we got to turn around. Melanie's not on either van. Oh, okay. So we went back.
Gina? Do we have Trudi? We're okay. We can continue and go play.
We went back, and she was standing there at the gas station. She said, well, I knew you weren't getting too far because I had the meal money.
My goodness.
So that was
Go ahead, Tanisha.
She must have figured out that leaving part because she stopped turning around by my year when Peace got left.
Who got left?
She left Peace Shepherd. She left
Really?
Peace Shepherd got left.
Wow.
She was, she did like her promptness and timeliness,
I've heard that. You better be there on time or you're going to be left. And we've seen that. And I'm sure Robin probably got left. Stephanie may have gotten left, or either they learned their lesson, then they didn't. It's great to see many eras of Wolfpack success in women's basketball on this screen right here. So Gina, Trudi, Chasity, and Tanisha, thanks a ton for joining us tonight and sharing your unique and special stories about a very special lady, Coach Kay Yow, and her impact. She's still coaching. She's still coaching folks up. And that's the neat thing. The legacy lives on, and you guys will always be a part of her team. And we have a lot more people on that team now. So ladies, thanks a bunch for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Go Pack.
Let's bring in Coach Grant.
Jeff, you didn't tell Coach Al's favorite player.
Who was?
I am Chaz.
Jeff, you didn't know, like, they're all her favorite players. I mean, like, each one of them is her favorite player.
That's probably what she told them all.
That's what she told everybody.
That's exactly right.
Y'all, thank you so much for being on this show tonight. And thank y'all so much for sharing great memories about Coach Al and the impact that she's had on all our lives. And it just takes us all back to those days, and then the well that she left us that we draw from forever, all those life lessons, all those character traits and things that she left us with. And so you all are great examples of people that took everything to heart, and she would be so proud of all of you and all the work that you've done and your careers and just the people that you are. So thank you so much for being with us tonight. We really, really appreciate it. You could stick around, like we got a little bit more of the show to go, but then we can kind of all get back on the screen at the end if you want to do that. And so with that, we got to go to our next segment, but we'll hear just a little bit from one of our sponsors, and then hopefully I'll see you again after the show. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Steph.
Hello, my name is Laura Bunn, and I'm the Triangle Market President for First Horizon Bank. First Horizon Bank and First Horizon Foundation are honored to play a role in our community, and we look for partnerships with organizations that make an impact, like the Kay Yow Foundation. We are grateful for the opportunity to be a part of the annual Kay Yow Run Walk celebration. Last year, we were excited to be a part of the in-person event and paint the tunnel pink for the survivors and their families. It was so touching to hear the stories of how the Kay Yow Foundation has impacted so many. My team and I felt a great sense of admiration for those touched by this organization, and I left last year's event knowing that we wanted to continue our partnership. And my team and I wish that we could be with you in person for the Run Walk. However, in an effort to keep everyone safe, the First Horizon team will be walking and running virtually over the next month. I hope you will join us.
Steph, not only did I enjoy that conversation, I loved seeing the people who are in the comments right now, and I thought I would pull up a few things because I know Jeff asked some questions, and it looks like some other former players and people were in the comments talking. So Linda Jackson was here saying that she never, in 33 years, never heard her have anger issues. She heard other coaches, but she didn't hear Coach Yow. And then
true.
Pam added to that saying she could still hear Coach Yow muttering, I mean. Can you do that for us? What would she do?
No, that's exactly right. She would say, Jackson would have been walking beside her. She was kind of her escort, like security on the games. And she would have definitely been saying, Jackson, I think we could have rebounded better. That's exactly what she would have been saying all the way to the press conference. No,
I love it.
What was so, it's always amazing to me, Jen, when you listen to Trudi and Gina, and they played in the late 70s, right? And then Chasity and Tanisha played in the 90s, late 90s. And when you listen to them, Coach Yow was saying the same messages, teaching the same life lessons for 40 years.
Wow.
And I think to have that kind of consistency, that kind of wisdom that you're imparting on generations of young people and generations of staffs. And so there are so many of us who, live now to pay that forward. I think all of us feel the need and the desire to not just let the life lessons stop with us,
right?
But to pay that forward and to keep Coach Yow's legacy ongoing and living. And just as we're doing through the Kay Yow Cancer Fund, this was a huge vision that she had for the fund. And all of those players are involved with the Kay Yow Cancer Fund, as well as many, many others.
Absolutely. And we truly, her spirit is still alive and very present in everything the fund does, and especially as those women were sharing in the work that they do in their own careers, which is just amazing. So thank you, ladies. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you so much. And thank you, Ace, for being awake at 2 a.m. to talk with us tonight. Steph, one thing we haven't done for the month of February, we were bringing our leaderboard live every week to give you an update. And so we're going to do that now because the final day for the Celebration Run Walk is Saturday. We're going to have a big celebration. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But I want to go ahead and give a top 10 countdown of what our teams look like. And Steph, you and I both know there's been a lot of movement on this leaderboard.
A lot of movement. Yes, it's awesome.
All right.
Great.
So here we go. We have the Western Wake Women's Club coming in at number 10, captained by Mary Gravley with just over $2,500. Nice job, team. And at number 9, all right, representing Kay's Kids, captained by Talisha Cook, $2,600, $2,665. Nice work. And these are many of the former players on Kay's Kids. Nice work, Talisha. At number 8, we have Katrina's NBC Fan Club, captained by our honorary co-chair, Katrina Cook, coming in at $2,750. And at number 7, we have Hakuna Matatas, captained by Susan Williams, who has brought this team to the race every single year for the past 5 years at $3,625. And at number 6, we have Together We Fight, captained by Shauna, just shy of that $4,000 mark. So Together We Fight. Can you make $4,000 by the time we reach Saturday? I think you can. You're so close. Number 5, we have Yow's team, captained by Susan Yow, who we're going to hear from on Saturday. Coach Yow's sister, coming in at $4,643. Nice work. And number 4, we have Mo's Treasure Chest, also a team that makes a strong appearance every single year, captained by Matoka Snuggs, $5,101. Nice work. Number 3, Team Remax has just shot into the top 10, captained by Mary Gravley, another cancer warrior who has continued to captain teams for the past 5 years, $5,260. And Team Remax is bringing it. they are coming in very strong, a team full of people willing to support the mission of the Kay Yow Cancer Fund. Coming in at number 2, I'm very proud of this team, the Cancer Warrior Network team. I'm honored to be a co-captain alongside fellow Cancer Warriors Tamika Quick, Loria Edwards, and Clarin Engelbreath. We are at 58-21, and Steph, you continue to set the bar high at Glance for Kay, 62-74. So friendly competition, right? You know, we kind of competition about this, but it's the competition, I think, that makes us excited and keeps us going. So teams, you have more than 48 hours. Keep them coming in. Let us see what we can do on Saturday. I guess it's less than 48 hours at this point, but you got time is the point. We want to see what you can do, and we'll be announcing some award winners on Saturday morning.
Yes, absolutely. I think what's so great about it, Jen, is it is competitive. It's fun and it's a little competitive. But the really cool thing is that people are uniting. We're all coming together to fight all cancers affecting women. It is a prong of our mission statement for the Kay Yow Cancer Fund that we are uniting people. And it is around a life-saving cause. And it's just so cool to see everybody come together and really enjoy making a difference and making an impact. And I have to say this, so we just have to share this news. So a few nights ago, we said our goal is $200,000 in fundraising. So drum roll, great news. We are $5,000 away from $200,000. Yes.
We can do that.
We can do it. We can do it. We have until 9 a.m. Saturday morning.
Until 9 a.m. Saturday morning. Friends, there are so many of you joining us tonight. If you could share the link, right? Just share the link, share your team's link. Ask people to give up maybe their latte tomorrow, right? Like if everyone gave up their $10 latte tomorrow, we could easily get to $5,000.
Sure, absolutely. Great idea.
Absolutely. So all of you, please share that out. We are so close to that $200,000 goal. Steph, thanks for updating us on that, because that's
exciting,
incredible.
Jen. It's exciting.
It is so exciting. And we have 2 other events coming up. Our evening program ends tonight. However, tomorrow you can join us to talk with Shannon Miller live on Zoom. Shannon's going to join us at 1 p.m. Eastern Time in a private Zoom link. It is free and open to the public. All you need to do is RSVP to Sarah, because we do have limited seats. Still a few available, but let Sarah know that you want to come in and she will send you that Zoom link. It's that easy. 1:00 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow with Shannon Miller. And she'll be talking about everything from the Olympics and her gymnastics career to when she retired and when she faced her own battle with ovarian cancer not too long ago. So it's a really great conversation you will want to be part of. And then Steph, as you mentioned, we have lots planned for Saturday morning. Give us a little bit of a preview as to what we have for our Saturday morning programming.
Yeah, we're excited about that, Jen. So 9:30 Saturday morning, we will be going live again. We will be recognizing again our honorary co-chairs. And so Angela and Katrina will join us Saturday morning to have a final few words about this week and about the 2021 Celebration Run Walk virtual event. We will be recognizing our top 10 finishing teams, and we'll also be recognizing the fundraiser, the one person who has raised the most money over the course of this year's Run Walk. So we have a lot of really cool things going on Saturday, and we're excited to celebrate that day. We also will hear from Cindy Alexander, who has prepared a very special song for us, as we will honor and lift up and encourage all cancer survivors, all cancer warriors on Saturday.
Yes, it's going to be a great time of celebration Saturday morning and tomorrow with Shannon. So with that, friends, thank you for joining us this evening. We hope to see you tomorrow and Saturday. And more than anything, thank you for partnering with the Kay Yow Cancer Fund, so together we can end cancers that affect women. Have a great night. The 2021 Kay Yow Cancer Fund Celebration Run Walk is made possible by the following corporate partners: